Culture.
Hello.
Community.
They make people feel safe, but they make people comfortable.
We treat everybody like a family.
Tradition.
I'm just really happy to just be a part of it and be able to pass it on.
The Bay Area Asian American and Pacific Islander communities hold strong.
Looking to the past for lessons and creating the way forward for future generations.
I know that a lot of young APIs are looking at me as an example, and so it's truly meaningful.
I belong. I made it.
Hello and welcome to Roots and Resilience, CBS News Bay Area's celebration of Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. I'm Ryan Yamamoto.
And I'm Betty Yu. Our stories truly do define us, and we know the Bay Area is rich with AAPI cultures. Often they are rooted in family, history, and traditions.
And those traditions are often taught, passed down, and cherished over generations. And I recently had a chance to meet a San Francisco woman who is one of a kind in San Francisco's Chinatown, making sure her family's culture lives on through sips of tea and through beautiful music.
The sound of tradition echoes long before class is set to begin. Where up the stairs and into a tiny attic studio, practice turns into a lesson as Fang Yi seamlessly begins class, teaching the art of the guzhong, a 21-string instrument that began in ancient China.
More than 2,500 years ago, started the Qing dynasty.
For Yi, she is the only instructor in San Francisco's Chinatown, keeping the art alive.
Very deep. Yeah, from your heart.
Developing more than just a following.
See, I have muscles here, here, and then I have muscles here too.
Her hands and fingers becoming an extension of her heart, channeling more than just music, but a mood.
Make the sounds like mountains, like rivers, like the girl crying.
Listen as she plays the sadness of that young girl.
And that was
Crying.
And it's those feelings that attracted 13-year-old Angel Yi and Yvonne Wu. That's video of Angel performing at a social club a few months ago, fierce on stage, but shy in person.
I remember the audience really motivated me. So after I was done, I heard so much clapping and cheering.
And when Fang Yi is not teaching, she is literally downstairs from her music studio, running her tiny tea shop.
What kind of tea is that?
It's Iron Goddess.
Where, much like her music, she finds calm in her culture.
The different tea I use in a different way. So different weather or different feeling to make it. It's like play the music, also from your heart.
Her heart always leading her back to her Chinese heritage.
So my parents feel surprised. So why the little girl like the old stuff? Yeah, so that's why.
You have an old soul.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. 眼神.
An old soul teaching a new generation to tell stories through music, learning not to only hear, but to feel tradition.
Much of the AAPI community in the Bay Area is made up of immigrants and the sons and daughters of immigrants. That includes Oakland's Mayor Sheng Tao. She's the first Hmong American mayor of a major U.S. city. She's the daughter of Laotian refugees, and she's talked about her humble beginnings. We asked what AAPI Heritage Month means to her and who she draws her inspiration from.
It's truly my mom. She's actually my driving factor when we talk about resiliency, and not just that, but making sure that we persevere no matter what situation we are in. When we talk about the umbrella of API and what that means, and there's so many different struggles that we all go through. I'm Southeast Asian, and so that struggle is completely different from East Asian and South Asians. To me, it is truly about representation.
More Asian Americans are also earning leadership roles in Bay Area law enforcement. Len Ramirez rode along with East Palo Alto's new police chief, who worked his way up through the ranks.
This is it, man. I've been here.
East Palo Alto's new chief of police walks the streets of the city like a local because he is one.
You know that feeling when you pull into town and you feel like you're home? That's East Palo Alto.
And to Chief Jeff Liu, what makes it so are the people willing to join him to make the city better and safer.
Hello. Thank you so much.
And it doesn't matter to him if they own a home or a business or live in a shelter like Dina Balzi.
We need somebody that understands for us.
In fact, Liu has no shortage of supporters. He can hardly walk a block without people coming up to congratulate him on the street, in restaurants, and even stopped in the middle of traffic.
Congratulations! Yay! I'm so proud of you.
It's about building relationships, not just doing events here and there, but just getting out and talking to people on a one-on-one basis.
Liu grew up in a Chinese-American family in Palo Alto. His father ran a restaurant. He went to Pali High, where he starred on the football team.
Growing up in Palo Alto, there were people who came from money. We had kids that showed up to high school on their 16th birthday, their brand new BMWs. That's not me.
Liu began his law enforcement career in East Palo Alto in 2000. He served on patrol and led the investigations unit through hard times when the city's per capita murder rate was still one of the highest in the nation. And it was during that time when Liu suffered the darkest day of his career, January 7th, 2006, the day his friend and fellow officer Richard May was murdered by a crime suspect after a foot pursuit right here on this street.
He got up to the top of the driveway, saw that Rich had him cornered, turned around with a gun, and shot him. My heart sank. The tears started flowing, and I started driving, faster than I should have, to try to get in here as fast as I could, thinking there's something I could do to bring him back.
From that day on, Liu vowed to put his best foot forward and make his mark on the department. He became a commander and now the city's 6th chief of police and the first to rise up through the department's own ranks. And although the violent crime rate is down since the mid-2000s, high-profile incidents like the fatal shooting at Jack Farrell Park last year are setbacks. Liu says the difference between now and 20 years ago is the cooperation of the community.
We had 5 homicides in 2022. They solved every single one of them, including that park shooting that made national news.
Although he doesn't like labels, he is breaking barriers, becoming the city's first Chinese-American chief. But his career choice was at first a disappointment to his parents.
When my dad was still alive, of course he wanted me to be a doctor or a lawyer. But he said, if you're going to be a police officer, at least become the chief of police. So I was able to make that a reality for him, and hopefully he's looking down, and hopefully he's proud of me. Oh no, that's.
It's clear Chief Liu was the popular choice for East Palo Alto.
I appreciate you, buddy.
And as he faces the challenges ahead to prevent and solve crimes and make the streets safer, he hopes to turn that popularity into progress.
And Berkeley now has its first Asian American police chief. Jennifer Lewis is also the first woman and first openly gay chief in the city. She's been the interim chief since 2021.
And while there has been progress in giving the AAPI community a bigger voice in our Bay Area communities, there's still a long way to go. The Asian American Foundation, or TAF, found that nationally, 1 in 2 Asian Americans feels unsafe in the U.S., and nearly 80% of Asian Americans do not completely feel they belong or are accepted. Along with that, there continues to be alarming incidents of hate. The National Coalition Stop AAPI Hate says they've gotten more than 11,000 reports of hate incidents over the course of the pandemic. Some of these we've seen in disturbing videos showing elderly Asian Americans and businesses targeted, but not all of it is as visible.
Really what folks are facing is a lot of verbal harassment. 2/3 of the accounts describe racist slurs, sexist slurs being lodged at members of our community, and oftentimes in places that are open to the public. I mean, when we are shopping for groceries, when we're picking up prescriptions, pumping gas in our cars, taking public transit.
In San Jose, police just made several arrests and robberies targeting the AAPI community, oftentimes in shopping areas.
In Oakland's Chinatown, community members are walking the streets to help people feel safer. Lauren Toms has that story.
It's a deterrence by walking, and this group puts in the steps every day to keep their community safe.
I think the group they're sort of stewards of the community in a sense, in that, they make people feel safe, but they make people comfortable. That, and with all of the things that the community's been through over the last couple of years, I think it just relaxes everybody a bit.
Mark Lowe considers himself new to Oakland compared to his peers who have lived in the area for decades. But his passion for keeping Oakland's Chinatown safe is just as strong.
Wanting to do something to help the Chinese community. I was active in San Francisco where I grew up when I was a kid, and this was just like, a way to give back.
The Foot Patrol is sponsored by the city, and each day members of the East Bay Toisan Association gather for their walk. They're known for their orange uniforms and have established deep connections with Oakland's Chinatown's residents, business owners, and the Oakland police. It's these relationships and their visibility that have played part in thwarting crime and harassment in the area, an approach Mark believes is what makes all the difference for safer streets. And Mark says he hasn't seen a significant crime event while on patrol for months.
More trusted than, regular police officers. More stuff used to happen a year ago on our routes than happen now.
The group considers themselves an extra layer of eyes and ears in a community scarred by the spike in AAPI hate, and they're not afraid to step in. Mark says the group has thwarted harassment just by using their quick wit.
Most of our role as a deterrent is, having cameras, being able to call the police immediately, making noise.
And their tactics appear to work. Store owners say they feel safer when they see the orange jackets pass by.
Thank you for your volunteer patrol.
Okay.
We have a more customer count.
Okay.
More customer, more money. Appreciate your service.
And for Mark, the patrol is more than just protection. It's a deeper sense of community.
And a similar effort is happening in San Francisco's Sunset neighborhood after a series of burglaries at AAPI-owned businesses there. I spoke with the owner of a Chinese-Vietnamese restaurant on Noriega Avenue after thieves broke in, first going for the cash register, then taking off with a Buddha and jade statue. In response, community ambassadors now walk along Irving and Noriega in the outer Sunset. They're all retired police officers.
Still ahead, it's a tough topic to bring up, even when life deals you the worst of challenges.
You just don't really talk about your hardship so much, right? And you just, typically you kind of keep yourself down and you keep working.
See how one Bay Area AAPI family is bringing mental health to the table.